Arnhem Land, the final frontier for four-wheel drivers. It's remote, untouched, ancient, and for a long time it's been inaccessible. I've been trying for years to get a trip happening up here, and finally all the pieces have come together. Unfortunately for me, I'm running a little late.
Hey Graham, where are you, bud?
Mate, according to the VMS, I am seconds away, and I got a surprise for you.
That's right, Shorty is back. A whole bunch of work has been done to it over the past few months back at the shop, and it's running better than ever. And what a trip to test her out.
Hiya! There's the boys.
Have a go at him.
Look at him.
Hey, get a load of this. Hey, whoa, whoa, shiny.
Rocket.
Graham, how are you?
Mate, how am I? I'm as happy as a dog with two tails. I got Shorty back.
is back.
Mate, I'm loving her. Look how shiny she is. She's dent-free, scratch-free.
She's going to stay like this for long or what?
Get your hands off. Get your hands off there. You good? Mate, I'm stoked, but we've had a long journey to get to here.
Yep.
I followed those GPS coordinates, by the way. Perfect. Got me here. We've still got a long way to go.
Yeah, mate, just the start of the adventure.
It is. My only concern for the whole trip, whether or not those things are going to keep up with it.
Rocket, what do you reckon, mate?
You haven't got a chance. We're good.
Shall we make a move?
We'll get the recovery gear ready.
Get in your trucks.
We've got just 6 days to explore the best of what Arnhem Land has to offer. Starting at the Baghetti Homelands of central Arnhem Land, we're making our way up through the birthplace of the didgeridoo all the way to the wild coasts of Cape Arnhem, before heading for our ultimate goal, the remote tip of Blue Mud Bay, which I've been told is one of the best fishing spots in the entire country. It'll be a tight squeeze, but old Shorty is up to the task.
Okay, boys, this is it. A lot of planning, a lot of permission slips being granted, a lot of effort put in back at the office. But I tell you what, we just crossed the boundary. We're in Arnhem Land. This is Arnhem Land right here.
Yeah, how good's this, mate? I've been here a couple of times, admittedly only fishing, and never been up this sort of central road here.
First time for me, but I've got to tell you, I've been looking forward to this for months.
Yeah, I'm stoked, just stoked. I've got old Shorty back. She's running like a dream.
I reckon that'll change pretty quickly.
Arnhem Land is opening up, folks, but you do still need permission from the traditional owners. The land we've just entered, the Baghetti Homelands, belongs to Lazerus Murray and his family, and it's one of the few places opening up for four-wheel drivers in central Arnhem Land. There's great tracks, there's camping, fishing, heck, loads of wildlife, and some activities you frankly can't do anywhere else. Lazerus has offered us the easy road or the hard road to get to his camp, and well, I reckon you can guess what we chose.
Yoo-hoo! Oh yeah, that's good fun.
Actually, that water's running a little bit quick, isn't it?
It is, Rocket, it is. I'll go in first. Oh, it's a bit deep. Just get across here.
Yeah, can you imagine this one in the wet season, mate?
Yeah, it'd be up to the top of the bank, surely, wouldn't it?
Go, Shorty.
Mate, I'm going in.
Yes.
Oh, big rock.
Oh! Bit of a tricky bit on the way out.
There's a big rock on the right. You don't want to hit that one.
All right, I'm going to give it a go. And we're through.
Not too many of you out there will say they don't understand when I say just how bloody good it is to be back in the driver's seat of my old mate Shorty. And I don't care what you say, this is not just a car. This to me is an entire lifestyle. It's an entire way of life. And I am stoked, utterly stoked, to be back behind the wheel.
It took a heck of a lot of work to get Shorty to this point. I've made a lot of changes over the last few months, and one of which is my oil. You know, four-wheel drives are particularly harsh on oil due to the temperatures in your standard turbo diesel engine. When you're doing 100 kilometres an hour along the freeway, look, everything's fine, it's happy, there's air running into the radiator. But when you're crawling up a rock face or along a beach in low range, there's just no airflow coming in and your engine is under immense load and heat. This causes excessive soot and sludge in your engine. What a good quality synthetic technology oil can do is survive these high temperatures and help to clean away that soot that builds up not only in older engines, but of course in new ones too. I rely on Shorty to do big kilometres in the harshest terrain, so I need a high-performance oil with detergent additives that can clean Shorty's engine as I drive. I'm using engine armour diesel from Valvoline. Now look, Valvoline has different grades of engine armour to suit both old and new engines alike. It's a synthetic technology blend, which means it will clean up all of that soot and carbon deposit before it builds up and destroys what is normally a good engine.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Guys, have a look at this track. It is absolutely ripped to pieces. It has to be buffalo or pigs or something. Ah.
It looks pretty boggy too, mate.
Yeah, I like the way you laugh. I've got to go through first. I can see the other side. It's only about 50 metres of it, but it's horrible. You sure you want to go this way?
Mate, according to the VMS, it's the only way.
Look at the damage they've done. This is just pure destruction through here.
Yeah, and look, it goes on as far as the eye can see to your right as well.
You've really got no choice though, have you?
Now, we're almost at the meeting point with Lazerus right here, but this backtrack has one more trick up its sleeve.
My advice is you blokes wait here. I might need you to come and get me out backwards. We'll see how we go.
There you go for it, mate. Give it plenty. Look at that go.
I've got this.
Oh no!
Right.
No, I think someone's in a bit of bother there.
Trouble is, I've fallen in a buffalo wallow.
You reckon a push, mate? Looks like you're nearly there.
As you can see, old Shorty's not really that bogged here. I haven't sunk down to my diffs, and Shauno reckons that just by giving a bit of a push from the back might just give me the momentum I need to carry on.
All right, give me the hey-ho when you're ready.
You know where this is going to end, don't you?
Yes! Yes! I do know where it's going to end.
Righto, I know when I'm beat. Time to get the Dominator out and get a winch recovery underway. As luck would have it in this situation, there is a perfect tree placed directly in front of me, and that means I get a direct line of pull out of this mud.
You know, these clothes were clean a week ago, and thanks to you, now I've got to get changed.
A week ago? I think you're overdue, Rocket. Oh, you are covered in mud. I shouldn't laugh. They're probably going to get bogged and I'm going to have to go in there. Got up a bit of tension here. Yeah, it's just muddy. That's the problem. Pure mud. Wow. I can have a go at driving that. I'm still not 100% sure I'm going to get out of here, and I hope I do, because Rocket's just about to put the winch cable away. I'd hate for him to have to run it out again. That would suck for Rocket. I wouldn't want to do that to him, mate. Yeah, well. Shauno, yeah, I'd do it to Sean. Do it to him any day. I wouldn't want to do it to Rocket. He's too nice a bloke. That's not saying that Sean's not a nice bloke. It's just that I like playing games with him. All right, stand back. I'm engaging everything. I've got this. Come on, old girl. Come on, old girl. Come on, old girl. Yeah! Yes! That was cool. Shauno, you haven't got a hope in heck.
Mate, she's not called a dirty 30 for nothing.
Good effort, Shauno, but that mud is like glue, mate. There's just about zero traction in there.
I think the technical term is stuck.
Yep, the Dominator winch is the only way out of this quagmire. Shauno, you stay put, mate. I'll jump in the mud.
The big question though, did I make it further than Shorty?
No, mate, I think you will see the footage shows there are wheel tracks in front of you. That means Shorty got further. I win. Once we do gain traction and start moving forward, someone is ready to grab that winch cable and run ahead so that we don't run over the winch, or worse still, get that cable bound up underneath the trucks.
Yeah. How was that, mate?
That was insane. When you pinned second, I had the winch rope.
Oh, mate, she went.
Just run.
When you go second low range in a dirty 30, mate,
It's-
look
yeah,
out.
yeah,
You just get covered in mud and you look
girls
like
get
me.
pregnant.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely crazy.
It's fireworks, mate.
Well, speaking of fireworks, I reckon Rod, because he weighs 18 tonne, is going to get about underneath that branch.
I don't know, but he's got a V8
Yeah, on song.
Power.
If he puts that thing on
and
song.
35s,
Yep.
twin
Yeah,
locked.
you're right.
It's a Toyota.
just
There's
gonna
so many things going for
He's
it
just
right
going to
now.
crawl through it, isn't he?
Yeah, he should go
If,
right.
if that was just a Nissan.
All right, should we call him through?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I might just eat my words. He is going remarkably well. You know, it does come down to that truck having so much weight and yet the auto doing such a good job of pushing it through terrain like this.
If you stay in those tracks, you've got half a chance. Look at that. Look out for the tree.
Come on! Give it up! The mighty 79! Come on!
Rocket has actually said to me in the past that a truck of that weight, there is no way he would take it onto the beach or the softest of sand or the deepest of mud holes like this one without an auto fitted. And I think scenes like this really do show that it works so very well.
Arnold, we push on? Good to go? All right, here's that main track again, boys, I think. It's heading away from that swamp. That's good news.
Copy that.
I don't want to start suggesting anything, but we are in the middle of nowhere here, mate. You sure you got this?
Mate, do I have? I've got a GPS mark down here in the VMS here, and should take the next right turn, and there we should meet Lazerus.
I'm guessing this is your right-hander here, mate.
Yeah, this is the right hander, mate.
Righto, you really are taking us the back way.
Mate, it's the fun way. This must be Lazerus here, mate.
You haven't got a hope in hell of finding the best spots in remote places like this without a bit of local knowledge, which is why we're lucky to be meeting up with Lazerus Murray, who is one of the traditional owners of this land.
Hey on, guys.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, Lazarus.
Middle of nowhere out here.
Yeah?
Well, Shauno had it. Yeah,
Those GPS marks you gave me worked a treat.
Oh, good.
Spot on.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, I'm here with my family fishing. Yeah, my wife and my kids.
What's this place
2
called,
boys,
Gary?
2
Any
girls.
luck?
What's this place called?
Midnight Spring. That's the name of this place here. It's a little underwater spring, eh?
Paradise.
Yeah.
There's another name for it.
Yeah.
Lazerus and his family have lived at Baghetti forever. However, prior to their arrival, their ancestors have been on the land for as long as time itself. There's wildlife in spades out here, and they're able to maintain many of the traditions of their ancestors, living off the land and, of course, caring for country.
Whoa! The heck was that? Hey, Lazerus, what the heck's going on, mate?
We're lighting fires, mate.
Yeah, you really are. Whoa!
This is part of caring for country. We're revegetating.
Hey, that looks like fun. Can I have a go?
I might join this fun too.
This is just extraordinary to see. Back from where I come from, this would be absolute taboo, but I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Wowzers, you would not want to get stuck here.
Oh, the smoke!
Oh,
Whoa!
burns quick out here.
Whoa! Doesn't it go up?
Some of the plants out here, they rely upon fire to actually rejuvenate. Some of the seeds don't actually come out and germinate until there's flames have burned them and opened them up.
To give you an idea, the track that we just drove on is now on fire behind me.
Too cool. That's something you don't do every day, something you don't see every day either.
Sean, can you please move? Thank you.
That stuff's real. That's gone right up.
What an eye-opener. Never in a million years did I think I'd be involved in something like that. It is a real privilege. Lazerus has invited us back to his camp for some locally sourced buffalo stew with his family and even a bit of didgeridoo playing around the campfire. I really wish I had more time here, you know, living off the land in a place as spectacular as this. Well, that's living the dream as far as I'm concerned. Stick around, folks, don't go anywhere, because coming up after the break, we learn to make a didgeridoo from scratch from a Yidaki legend, and we come across perhaps one of the most spectacular, remote and untouched campsites that I've ever seen. I kid you not. Lazerus has left us a great campsite overnight, and what a spot. With no light pollution, the stars look simply amazing out here. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of Central Arnhem Land. There's so much more on offer at Baghetti, but after a quick cuppa and a pack up, unfortunately for us, it's time to hit the road. Today, we've got to cover a lot of distance. We've already eaten into a third of our time up here, and we still have to reach the coast some 400 kilometres away. We're hoping to meet up with yet another traditional owner up north, the master Yidaki player and maker Bevan Unipingu. But first, we've got to tackle the track out of here.
Whoa. Hey guys, this little creek crossing down here's got a massively undercut left-hand bank. Looks like someone's been out with a shovel, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks pretty tough, mate. I know what's going to happen too. You've got to bring a lot of water up with you. It's going to be greasy as all buggery.
It's going to be a bit of a rocky ride here, I can tell you that much.
We'll give it a go, see what happens.
This is a gnarly little section. I tell you, to look at it, it doesn't look like much, but it caught us all by surprise.
Come on.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Go the mighty Shorty.
You just got to bounce your rear over it, I reckon.
Put a front locker for this one, I reckon.
There's not a lot of wheel placement that can be had here. You really have to stick to the train tracks going one direction. It's about easing in and then giving it some throttle up and over.
That's full on.
Oh! You know you're making it worse for me, don't you, Shauno? And you're enjoying that part.
It's really steep, Rod. That's it's like a vertical wall, mate, on your left. It feels like you're going to bend a steering arm every time you give that a go.
Go on, Shauno! Yes, keep going!
How good's that?
Rod was right. Sean has dragged a load of water up and over the mud, making it even greasier. I've got a feeling the auto is going to eat this. Yeah, that's a perfect drive, mate.
Yes! Yeah, I was stuck there for about 30 seconds.
Now, something I've been looking forward to for years. Meet Bevan Unipingu. He's a master Yidaki player and maker. Bevan is also the didgeridoo player for Yothu Yindi.
Evan,
Hey, how you going, mate? Hey, how are you, man?
you good?
Good, mate.
Hey, brother.
Hey, man.
He's agreed to meet up with us and show us how to make this traditional and ancient instrument.
Well, everyone call it didgeridoo now.
Yeah.
It's called iraki. Iraki. You guys want to make?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm keen.
One each?
Yeah.
We right now are in northeast Arnhem Land, and this is where the didgeridoo, or yidaki as they call it up here, originated from.
That's a hollow tree. And is that all done by termites?
Yep.
It is.
These long, straight trees up here are ideal, but the trick is to know which ones have been hollowed out by termites.
That's so cool.
So we cut it round there to make it
flush.
show.
Down here.
Got the shape of shape like a trumpet.
That's cool.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first step of making a traditional yidaki. This area of Arnhem Land is littered with ideal trees, and it doesn't take Bevan long to find us 2 more to take back to camp. And what a privilege.
What we don't want to do is mix this up with the firewood.
As an amateur but enthusiastic didgeridoo player myself, I've been dying to find out just how this amazing instrument is put together.
Well, this is how I do it. Take the bark off, leave it for a day, sand it up, shape it up. When I do my business with the didgeridoo, I make like 9 or 7 a day. A didgeridoo, yeah.
It's time to settle down and begin the process. Part 1 of that, of course, is stripping the bark right back to the hardwood. Using whatever you've got at your disposal, clean out the remains of the termites inside the wood. For my particular didgeridoo, that was extremely easy to do, and I almost didn't need to clean it out at all.
Hey, it's a good bit.
Mate, as far as I'm concerned, that's just, I don't know, that's something magic. This was a tree an hour ago, and now, in your hands, it's a musical instrument.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know, insane, dude. So what do we do now? Just let them dry out?
Yeah, just leave it like this.
Yep. In the sun or just in the shade?
Yeah, just leave it somewhere.
Yep. All right, well, let's just leave them down here.
Okay, let's go, leave it out. Come, leave this way. Come.
Because we have such limited time on our first foray out here, we won't be able to finish the entire process. But Bevan has let us take our half-finished didgeridoos back home with us to finish them up. Bevan has given us the coordinates for a campsite right on the edge of a wetland. But first he's recommended checking out the coast at Cape Arnhem, with a warning: watch out for soft sand.
There's a definite change of scenery through here, lads. Real sandy.
Certainly opened up a lot here, isn't it? Look at the sand, pristine.
Yeah, mate, according to the VMS, mate, we're right near the beach too.
Wait till you see what I can see.
What an awesome place this is.
Have a go.
I've been lucky to visit a lot of different capes in my time. Sandy Cape, Cape York, Cape Flattery, but of course, I've never yet been to Cape Arnhem.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. Get a load of those islands and that surf.
Oh, this is magic, boys. I've been waiting a long time for this.
How good is this? Get a load of the scenery out here, and what really gets me is that right now, believe it or not, it's school holidays and we've got this entire stretch of coast to ourselves.
Hang on, I'm going to back up here.
And just like Bevan said, the sand is as soft as anything I've ever driven.
Yeah, so am I think.
Look at you two.
When I pulled up, I knew I was going to get stuck instantly.
They're so fogged, it's not funny. I'll drive around them.
You wait until it's your turn.
The reality of making four-wheel drive action DVDs is that you have to stop in places to film where most four-wheel drivers just wouldn't stop. This is one such place.
Wow, that sand is super soft. We all stopped up one after another, went to get going, and unfortunately for us, we stopped in the softest bit of sand in East Arnhem Land. But luckily, I spun the tyres a lot, so I've sunk the vehicle right down. It means access to the max tracks is going to be easy. Still pretty bogged, but I'm going to give it a go.
That's one out, one to go. Well done, Shauno. I think you've earned yourself a spell of fishing, mate.
Just
thought I'd run something by you. You see, as I've been driving up and down these really soft beaches out here in the new Bridgestone Jeweler MTs, got me to thinking about some stuff that people are saying, which I met in town when I first got these tyres. They are a really chunky tread pattern, very chunky in fact. For a mud train, they're some of the most aggressive rubber I've ever seen. A lot of people have said to me, they're going to be hopeless on the beach. I just don't get that. Really, I think when it comes to sand, it is all about probably 95% tyre pressures, 5% momentum. Having a chunky tread pattern like this really can only help, not hinder. So look, I've been absolutely stoked with these MTs out here. We've got a fair bit of driving on this soft sand to go, and I've got no reason to change anything. I have got reason to do one thing though. Go and catch a fish. Looks like the boys are catching fish. With all the sharks and crocodiles in that water, how on earth is he able to still catch a fish? I reckon he's got gills and scales. He can think like a fish. Perhaps he is a fish. I'm not entirely sure.
That's a beautiful mangrove jack. These guys, they grow a lot bigger than this. They make superb eating. One of the best eating fish in the ocean. Mate, if you were about 5 centimetres bigger, you'd be joining me in the Waco.
All right, mate, you're making me jealous. Time for me to have a go. It's about time to head to this campsite that Bevan's told us so much about, right on the edge of a huge wetland. This wetland on Durupji land is covered in wild, untouched bushland for as far as the eye can see. Wow.
Oh, you're kidding. Look at this.
My God, get a load of that.
Which is why I was completely blown away when this came into view.
Wow, I've never seen anything like this. This is truly blowing my mind.
When I think of Arnhem Land, I think at the top end. This is exactly what I imagine, you know.
Bevan tells us that very few non-Indigenous people have ever set eyes on this land, and we get the honour of setting up camp here. This has got to be one of the wildest, most insanely cool campsites I have ever spent time at. Sean's taking his time setting up his Adventure Kings double swag down there. Rod and I have the Adventure Kings rooftop tents. The view from here is going to be insane, that first light in the morning. And of course, it should keep us up and out of the way of any runaway buffalo. You know, I've camped in some pretty darn amazing spots in my time, but this one right here has just got to take the cake. We're right in the guts, right in the heart of northeast Arnhem Land right now. And behind us is a scene that, heck, you'd expect to see this in some sort of David Attenborough documentary, but no. This is one of those spots, folks, you just stop and pinch yourself. This is why we own four-wheel drives. You're not going to get here on a push bike. You've got to get here with a four-wheel drive. This is the lifestyle. This is why we do it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Excuse me, I'm going to go and enjoy this. Most places in Arnhem Land are dry, which means there's no beers for us tonight. But a good feed is all you need, and Shauno's even cooking up a dessert.
It's been a big day out here in Arnhem Land. We've had a nice dinner, and now I'm going to finish off with an even better dessert. Now I'm going to make up a damper, but it's not any old damper. It's an apple and cinnamon damper. So look out, here we come. First ingredient is self-raising flour. Now, I'm not going to be too accurate with all the measurements tonight. I'm just going to pour it in, because you can't really go wrong with a damper, you see. You just sort of pour it in until you get the right consistency. It's all about the consistency. The more you put of all the ingredients, of course, the bigger your damper. Rod, can I get you up here for a sec, mate? Beauty. There you go, mate. Well, apples, it's a major part of a damper with apple and cinnamon, mate. Can I leave that in your hands? Open that one up and cut those apples into nice little fine slices. A little bit of cinnamon. Now I'm going to go a fair bit of cinnamon here. Everyone likes cinnamon, right? All right, mate. Chuck a bit of salt in here, not too much, just a good old sprinkle. Bit of brown sugar.
Never even heard of a dessert damper before.
Really? First time for a dessert damper. Bit of sugar. We'll try and get the good consistency going. Just gonna mix that through. All right.
All of it?
Yeah, chuck it in, mate. You could jump into the Waco, mate, and grab us out some milk. Sort of making a sort of crummy sort of mixture at the moment. Of course, you put the milk in. Out of the loo. It's super cold, mate. What you want a damper to do is not stick to your fingers like that. You really want it to be really springy, mate. Bit of excess flour here. Just put that on the table. Sort of. So you can sort of spring it, see it springing back when I do that. What I do is just sort of make it into a bit of a cake, you know. All right, I'm going to get a bit gourmet on you, mate. Sorry about this. Just going to sort of put a little bit of cinnamon on top. There we go. Now, that camp oven has been oiled prior to this, straight in there. There we go. It doesn't take up all the sides, as you can see there, Rod.
Gives it plenty of room to grow, plenty of room.
So there you go, she's in the camp oven now. All done and dusted. We'll put the lid on the camp oven and she'll go into the coals now for probably about half an hour. We'll check it anyway, mate, and make sure we don't overcook it. You can tell when a damper's done because it should sound hollow inside. If you tap a damper, it sounds hollow. Just like my noggin, mate. It's all good to go. Ready?
Let's do this.
Let's put this on the campfire, mate. There you go. We'll give that about 30 minutes on those coals. And the key with cooking, I think, anything on the coals is to get it away from the fire, cook it separate to the fire, just get that heat coming out through the bottom, a little bit on top. And mate, 30 minutes, I reckon we've got dessert in our hands. Oh, you can feel the heat. Ooh,
Have we got any cream?
look at that. Bit of cream on one side and then not too much on the top. There you go, mate. There you go, guys. An apple and cinnamon damper. It's quick and easy to make. It's perfect for nights like this.
Nicely done, Shauno. A good feed to top off a great day. Time to rest up because tomorrow is jam-packed. If you thought today was epic, don't go anywhere because after the break, Shauno's got a bush mechanics challenge he's got to try and figure out, and we finally push through to the very tip of Blue Mud Bay. Well, I'll tell you what, the noises last night coming from that swamp, you had to hear to believe. At any one time I could hear buffalo running past. All those magpie geese came right up close to the edge of the swamp here. Obviously they go back into the middle by day because it's a lot safer for them. And then just as the sun hit the horizon, the dawn chorus this morning was louder than Guns N' Roses in a trash can. I tell you what, you do not need an alarm clock out here, and it's a good thing too because you would miss out on one of the most amazing sights and sounds that I reckon I've ever seen anywhere in the world.
Crop that camera out in the background.
This is a very hard place to leave, but it's our last day and we've got some miles to cover. Bevan has promised to show us one of the local fishing haunts, after which we're breaking out to the coast again to our ultimate destination, the remote tip of Blue Mud Bay. Lads, I was just thinking to myself, I don't know if I'll ever see this place again. I mean, it really is remote, middle of nowhere almost. But I do hope I get here again, because this has been one of the most amazing campsites ever.
Yeah, I'd love to come back here. It's certainly in my top 5 in Australia, and it's sort of got everything here. The wildlife, the camping, the scenery. You couldn't ask for a better spot.
Yeah, it just screams top end, doesn't it, mate?
One final look at that wetland out there. And I tell you what, one day, I very much hope to get back here. We're taking a track here that should lead us right out to Bevan's secret fishing spot. These tracks up in Arnhem Land, they're here one season, gone the next. They get a decent wet up here. It can be 6-8 months before anyone is on this track again. Of course, with all the spear grass and the young trees that come up, tracks like this can be transformed. There's a big green ant nest there you drive under.
Good luck, Shauno. We'll have stirred them up just enough by the time you get to them, mate.
They're probably all over this truck.
And for a lot of tracks like this, they actually get pushed through each season afresh.
Bit tight through here, boys.
Up here you'll find corrugations, you'll find ruts of varying depth, and a lot of growth over the track.
I just wore a tree. Oh.
With time being a pretty big factor, I'm hoping for a smooth run through here.
Jeepers creepers, man.
Just call out when you reckon it's safe enough for us to come through now that you've cleared the bush.
Yeah, go for it. Go on.
What's your exit? Your exit's got a low branch on the passenger side.
There's enough branches in here to worry about. Oh.
That is a low branch there. That's Shauno.
This little section through here is typical of Arnhem Land or any top end area that gets a big wet season.
Oh, these angles look like they're going to be horrible.
Like a tight little track, mate.
Oh, you're not wrong.
The track has been almost completely washed away, and this small section of only 100-150 metres has gone completely.
How on earth are you going to get that through there?
Yeah, I'm not real keen on putting a dent in my new panels, and I think that's what's going to happen here without a doubt.
It's a hard, rocky squeeze with a tight right-hand turn.
I tell you what though, you only just fit, so I've got no idea how I'm going to do it.
Boys, I don't envy you two. It's a tricky place to get out of.
There's going to be some wheel lift through here. Of that, I have zero doubt.
I don't want to talk myself up, but I'm going to say that was a masterful drive.
Alright, with Graham's we heard crackles and branches cracking. With this there might be panels scraping, crunching and the rest of it that goes with it. Whoa! It's a big angle. I'm not even in the worst part yet. Whoa, jeez.
This track, it is all about wheel placement. There's a line through here, and one that's not too bad either. But get it wrong, and you run the real risk of doing panel damage through this little section.
Oh, felt something bang then. Whoa! Come on down!
Rocket's given the call for me to jump up the front and give him a spot. It's a wise move too.
My seatbelt's locking me in! I'll come back and I'll come to the left just that little bit more.
Yeah, that's a better line, Rocket. Good work, mate.
Whoa! There she comes! Yes!
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
How close was that? Ah! Lost the mud flap. Where's my mud flap, you mongrel?
I think Shauno might follow the exact same line that I've taken Rocket through, and I reckon he'll make it look easy. The Dirty 30 though is no lightweight vehicle. It would definitely weigh more than Shorty and come in just a tad under Rocket. So I think weight too is going to play a factor here. He's done this before though, and you can see he's making it look easy. That Dirty 30 looks like a graceful mountain goat.
Good shot! Well done, mate.
Love me a 60 series.
Oh, there's my mud flap. See if I can glue that back on.
This little creek crossing, there are millions of them like it all through Arnhem Land, and it's so very typical of the country up here. A real steep in, sort of a boggy bottom, and a nice steep out again.
I'm going to get angles and trees in the wrong way here.
Rocket's departure angle had him hung up ever so slightly.
There we go. Forward motion.
Down traction.
Yep.
Of course, when you've got a big diesel V8 at your disposal, A little bit more right foot and he dragged himself off there, no problem. Shauno chose a line a little more to the left, which actually cleared that rear bar, allowing him to drive out with no dramas at all. Good line, mate, and good drive. We hadn't gone too much further than that little creek crossing when Shauno came over the UHF. Something wasn't quite right with the Dirty 30. He was keen to stop and check it out.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I was driving along, I heard a little crack. First instinct was that I've done a hub, maybe a CV, so I've stopped, checked it out. Rod's got underneath the vehicle and had a quick look, and we noticed inversion shackles have actually inverted right around. So we've got a bit of a drama here, but it shouldn't be too bad. A little bit of bush mechanics. We might get ourselves out of this mess. We'll lift the vehicle up, use a bit of a pry bar, and hopefully we'll invert them back the right way. And we're back on the road again.
Yep, keep going, keep going.
It's going. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's a bit. That's it. Get in there. Get in there.
I reckon we have to experiment putting it down and see what it does. Yep.
Yes.
And she went back down.
That looks good, dude. That looks good.
There you go, it really is as simple as that. But it does pay when especially when you're on tracks like this. As soon as you hear the first sign that something isn't quite right, you sort of know your vehicle, you know the little creaks and groans she normally makes. When something doesn't sound right, definitely get out and have a look, because if I drove like that for a while, it wouldn't have been good.
In a parcel of land deep within the traditionally owned lands of Durapete lies a fishing spot only the locals go to. This swamp is so ancient. I can't imagine this place has changed much in hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. Places like this, so untouched, so wild, so remote, that get me coming back time and time again. I reckon only a handful of white people have walked in and fished this swamp, if any. This is really one of those times when I can honestly say to catch a fish would be a bonus. Just being here with these people and experiencing this ancient land, that's enough. It may be beautiful, but this place is a haven for saltwater crocs. Bevan is prepared and on the lookout. Wicked. How's this for a location? Deathly quiet, full of mosquitoes. Quite possibly full of crocodiles, not possibly, definitely full of crocodiles. I reckon there's still just a little bit too much water around here at the moment. This should be dry before we come through here, but it's worth a try. Just been creeping along the edges here, just accessing this deeper water. Getting smashed by mozzies, but it'll all be worthwhile if we can just get a decent barra out of here. So we'll keep pushing on, see what we can find.
Done a fair bit of fishing before. I have to say, standing out here in a log, in croc-infested waters, this probably takes the cake.
Time is fast running out, so we hop on the track to our final destination, Blue Mud Bay. There's mud, ruts, creek crossings and hills, but we're not letting it slow us down. We've got a date to make, and I've got a feeling it's going to be well worth it.
Bit of rocking, mate. You riding that Bronco all the way or what?
Yeah, all good. Come on through, boys. I've cleared a track. You know, lads, this place is so off the map, so off the tourist route, so uncharted. I wouldn't even call this place the next big thing. I don't think anything's going to change up here for a little while yet, and when you consider that we're on a point right now that's got a couple of 100 metres, well, several, it could be a couple of kilometres when you think about it, of campsites established with ample firewood, views to die for, probably awesome fishing. It's the middle of the school holidays and there is not one person here.
I reckon it's going to take me a few years to ever imagine that I'm ever going to top this place. It's been my number one since the moment I've gotten here, and I really don't think I can imagine anything that's ever going to be any better than this place.
Like you say, Graham, there's just no crowds, mate, and for me that's paradise. I think I found it.
So Rocket, tell me mate, what's been your highlight so far? I mean, you keep saying this is your favourite spot you've been to, and I don't blame you. It's absolutely insane, but what's been your highlight so far?
Cape Arnhem for me, I mean, and it's a hard choice too, with so many to pick from and so many gorgeous places up here. Cape Arnhem, for someone that hasn't fished in quite a long time, and just to see the scenery, which was absolutely pouring it on, and then the fish, which is putting on a show that I don't think I'll ever see again.
Well, we finally made it after 6 epic days across some of the most remote and spectacular landscapes I've ever seen. We've come to the tip of Blue Mud Bay, and wow, what a view. Well, this right here, Shauno.
This is it, mate.
We've been to some spots, big fella.
Yeah.
Well done. Arnhem Land.
No,
Shauno,
perfect
we made it.
place.
Well done, mate.
Shauno.
Nice one.
Pleasure. Absolutely amazing.
Well, why don't you blokes go and have a fish? I reckon I'm going to join you.
Absolutely.
Sounds
mate.
good.
I don't know that you've got much chance though, Shauno. You haven't really been proving yourself to me on this trip too much, mate.
Just stretching.
Yeah,
Get
go on,
ready,
stretch up.
mate. I want your hand in a second.
Listen to you. Oh, crikey, the people I'm going to travel with. Folks, like I said before, I firmly believe that this spot right here, Northeast Arnhem Land, is destined to be the next big four-wheel drive destination in Australia, but I also firmly believe that's not going to happen anytime soon. What it is going to do though is give you folks time to get up here and experience a part of the country that is utterly, overwhelmingly blown all of us away. Me personally, I'm going to now rate this as my #1 spot in Australia. It's blown the Simo out of the water. It's taken the Cape and buried it underground, and the Kimberley, my love affair with the Kimberley has just shrunk ever so much thanks to Northeast Arnhem Land. Look, I really hope to see you up here next time, because that means you get to experience this part of the world. But if I don't, I'll definitely catch you on four-wheel drive action. Now excuse me while I go and catch a fish in this magnificent paradise. This trip has been amazing for so many different reasons. Of course, the landscape has captured my heart and blown me away. But more than that, getting to spend time with the Aboriginal culture up here and really immersing myself in it is something I've wanted to do for so very long. Both Lazerus and Bevan have invited me back, and you can bet I'm going to take them up on their offer.